Prologue: Attitude versus Direction. Why optimism needs a plan. What matters more, your mindset or your map? Like many, I once believed that a positive attitude could make up for a lack of direction. If I stayed motivated, worked hard, and kept pushing forward, things would eventually fall into place. But here's what I learned the hard way. Without a clear map, even the best attitude will not keep you on course. There was a season in my life where I felt like I was doing everything right. I was working hard, showing up early, saying yes to every opportunity. From the outside, it probably looked like progress, but internally, something felt off. I remember thinking, why does it feel like I'm moving, but I'm not getting anywhere? Not frustrated, just confused. Because effort was not the problem. Attitude was not the problem. Direction was. As I wrote and rewrote the words of this book, I found myself reaching out to colleagues, friends, peers, and mentors. Those conversations kept me grounded. But one question came up very often. If the other leadership books that you've read worked for you, why write another one? That's a fair question, and here's the answer. There are some tremendous books out there, especially those by my favorite authors, John C. Maxwell and Stephen Covey. Their work helps shape how I think about leadership. I'm not here to replace them. This book exists because I needed something different. Not more theory, not more quotes. I needed a way to apply what I was learning in real time, in real situations, when results actually mattered. So that is what this book became. Not a replacement, an expansion. A bridge between knowing and doing. I've read countless leadership and self-help books over the years. Many of those share common themes. Your attitude is everything. And they're not wrong. Attitude does matter. A positive mindset can absolutely influence outcomes. It can determine how you respond to challenges, how you treat people, and how long you stay in the fight. But here is the part that gets missed. Attitude alone will not guide you towards your goals. Let me explain. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, but still getting nowhere? In today's world, we rarely use paper maps. Most of us rely on GPS, Google Maps, Apple Maps, or something similar, just to get where we want to go. Now imagine that you're driving from New York City to Boston, a route that you've never taken previously. So you trust the system. It tells you when to turn, what exit to take, which highway to follow. You don't question it, you just drive. But what if the system is wrong? What if instead of sending you towards Boston, it sends you towards Chicago? At first, you wouldn't even notice. You would still be moving, still be making progress, still following directions. But eventually, something would feel off. And by the time you realize it, you would have wasted time, energy, and effort going in the wrong direction. No amount of positivity would have fixed that. It would have just made the detour more pleasant. Here's the leadership truth. Optimism fuels the journey, but direction determines the destination. Without both, progress becomes a detour. That is the leadership trap. Optimism without direction is just motion without progress. You can have all the drive in the world, but without a clear plan, your personal roadmap, you may still end up far from where you intended to go. I have seen this happen in boardrooms, on job sites, in businesses that had talent, energy, and ambition, but no clear system to turn those efforts into results. This book is your map, but here's the difference. It's not built on theory. It's built on experience. Lessons learned through mistakes, through pressure, through moments where the stakes were real and the outcome mattered. This is a system I wish I had earlier, the one that turns effort into execution and execution into results. So go back to that example. Would a better attitude have saved you from driving in the wrong direction? No, it would have just made the wrong journey feel better. Well, attitude sets the tone. A plan sets the path. And in leadership, the wrong map does not always look obvious. Sometimes it looks like a great quote with no application, a strategy with no execution, or confidence built on incomplete understanding. This book will give you something different. A clear, structured, step-by-step system, your driving directions, so that you can build real leadership, not just read about it. But here is the bigger question that I want you to ask. How can I lead in a way that outlives me? This is not just about leadership principles, it's about application. Taking what works and using it in real situations without the guesswork. I have seen ideas transform careers, businesses, and relationships. And if you approach them with an open mind, they can do the same for you. Now let's get started. Because over time, I discovered something very simple, but also very powerful. Achievement follows the system, but not all systems are created the same. What you're about to read is a field-tested execution operating system, built under pressure, refined through failure, and proven in environments where results actually matter. This is not execution for ideal conditions. This is execution for the real world. The leadership operating system. There are other execution frameworks out there, many of which are excellent. This one is different for one reason. It was not built to teach execution. It was built because execution was failing. I was not looking for a model. I was looking for a way to make results consistent when pressure was real and outcomes mattered. That realization did not come from a book. It came from frustration, from missed goals, from teams that had potential but inconsistent results. I remember thinking there has to be a better way than just pushing harder, because effort alone was not working. Across different roles, different teams, and different industries, I kept seeing the same pattern. The leaders who won consistently were not more motivated, they were just more structured. And that's when I stopped looking for better effort and started looking for better structure. I kept seeing the same issue everywhere. Leaders had goals, but they didn't have a system to execute them. Different companies, different teams, different industries, same problem. So I built one. Not all at once, but piece by piece, based on what actually worked. And over time, it came down to 4 things: clear goals, measurable milestones, specific actions, and weekly accountability. Every result I have driven at a high level across teams, operations, and businesses has tied back to these 4. That's when it became clear. Results are not random. They are engineered through structure. Over time, I broke that structure down into something simple, something repeatable, something that could work anywhere. I call it the 4 modus operandi of achievement. I did not fully understand how important structure was until I had to scale it. One store is manageable. You can adjust, step in, fix things as they break. But multiple stores, that exposes everything. Inconsistency shows up immediately. What works in one location fails in another. What one leader does well, another can't replicate. And suddenly you realize something you can no longer ignore. You do not have a performance problem. You have a systems problem. That was the pressure test. And it forced a shift from managing people to standardizing how performance is created. That is when we implemented consistent processes across every location. Because if it can't be repeated, it can't be scaled. That's why the 4 modus operandi matters. Not just for results, but for results that can be repeated anywhere. Every meaningful result I've ever seen, personally or professionally, comes back to those same 4 principles working together harmoniously. Focus, identifying the ferociously important goal. Lead measures, tracking the behaviors that create the outcome. Scoreboards, making progress visible to the entire team. and responsibility, creating a rhythm of commitments. Individually, each one of these matter, but together they change everything. Over the next several chapters, we will break down each of these principles and show how they turn leadership ideas into measurable results. This is not theory. This is the framework that I have used in real environments where results were expected, timelines were real, and failure had consequences. These 4 principles form the foundation of this entire book, and more importantly, they form a system that you can apply immediately, no matter your role, your industry, or your level of experience. I did not set out to build a leadership system. I was trying to fix problems that were not going away. A store missing numbers, a team that knew what to do but didn't do it, a business with growing revenue but still losing control. I tried what most leaders tried first: work harder, push more, train more. It did not work. What I started to see across all of those roles, companies, and industries was a pattern. The problem wasn't effort, it wasn't intelligence, it was execution. More specifically, there was no system for it, so I built one. In real environments, in a Radio Shack store that needed results now, in a Target operation where safety training failed, in multi-unit environments where inconsistency was exposed immediately, in businesses where growth started breaking the operation. Every principle in this book was tested under pressure, refined through failure, proven through results. This is not a theory of execution. This is what worked when results were no longer optional.